Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily podcast, where every day we delve into the ever-evolving world of technology and the profound impact it has on our lives, our work, and even world. So I'm your host, Neil C. Hughes, and today we're going to be joined by Anurag from the Mphasis Corporation, a company committed to being the driver in driverless car for global enterprises, all by applying next-generation design architecture and engineering services to deliver scalable and sustainable software and tech solutions. Now, Mphasis does have a reputation for its customer-centric approach and front-to-back transformation strategy, leveraging the exponential power of the cloud and cognitive technologies, all to provide hyper-personalised digital experiences. But in today's episode, I want to explore Mphasis' expansion into the UK market, which is their largest across Europe, and also discuss how they're leveraging zero-cost transformation and self-funded projects to drive tech transformation journey in the face of economic challenges. And if we've got time, I also want to find out more about their recent acquisitions of Blink UX and Datalytics, and how they're helping Mphasis strengthen their capabilities, expand their own services to accelerate growth, and additionally, we'll examine the crucial role of partnerships and collaboration in driving innovation in the tech industry. And today's guest will be sharing his insights on successful service transformation initiatives, what they look like, how you can automate a legacy system, and also share some valuable advice to younger people listening interested in pursuing a career in technology, emphasising the importance of continuous learning, developing essential skills such as adaptability, problem solving, and so much more. But I've revealed far too much already, as I always do, so buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to London here in the UK, where Anurag is waiting to talk with us today. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Anurag. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Hi, Neil. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm Anurag Bhatia. I head up our European business here at Mphasis. And as part of my European role, I'm responsible for the growth of our business. I'm responsible for managing our clients and managing our 7,000 colleagues that are spread across the world that service our European business. Been with the firm for about 10 years. This is the third role. Relocated from New York roughly about 4 years ago. Right before the pandemic, I had the crystal ball and said, let's move over to London. So I'm speaking from London, which is also where our European headquarters are based.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. I've spoken to several members of your team over the last few years. And of course, the world has changed so much in the last 3 years. So I know you're an international company. You've got so many clients around the world. And I'd love to, as I'm based here in the UK, can you walk me through how Mphasis has got an ongoing commitment to expanding your presence in the UK market too?
Oh, absolutely, Neil. In the European context, the UK is the largest market for us. It kind of represents over 50% of what we do. Most of the work is focused on the financial services and the insurance and travel and logistics sides of the business. So within the set of verticals, we can't go deep within a few. And then that's where we operate. The model is very onshore, near shore, and then global. So we want to be more as a local partner to our clients in this region. The last 3 years, pandemic aside, have just been stellar. Some of it accelerated the growth because of when the world went remote, companies and systems were not built for 100% remote workforce. So I think those are some of the acceleration. Obviously, we had to change the operating models through that period. And I'll talk to some of those as we go along in the conversation.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And there's so many big changes. I think in particular right now, there's economic uncertainty around the world, risk of global conflict, etc. And I think every business is challenged with doing more with less. And every tech project is now under close scrutiny for what kind of value it will add to the business, what kind of ROI it will offer. So on that side of things, I'm curious, how can organizations continue their tech transformation journey by leveraging things like zero-cost transformation or self-funded projects during this time of an economic slowdown? Because even though we are at this moment in time, it's more important than ever to stay relevant in the eyes of customers too, isn't it?
No, absolutely, Neil. And we're seeing the change in the buying patterns, or the IT buying patterns are slightly shifting, though the underlying theme remains the same, that we want to innovate and we want to build systems for the next generation of businesses. But the underlying theme around that remains, while it's never about cost, it's always about cost. Everybody's looking for value. Specifically, when we launched Zero Cost Transformation, it was a change in approach, essentially modularizing large transformation programs into bite-sized chunks. So what we mean by that is in-year financial value. How can large programs be broken down into business priorities and then focus on those priorities with short sprints of 6 to 8 weeks, and then delivering the value and then pivoting accordingly? So I think our clients started to see a lot more value from that standpoint, which was, how do we really bring automation to operations, whether it's technology operations, the development of the board, and how can value be created in bite-sized chunks with short sprints, and breaking up the large transformation program with in-year value.
As I said a few moments ago, I've had the privilege of speaking with many of your team members and colleagues over the years. And so I'm always kind of looking from the outside and following the progress of the company. And two things that stood out for me was recent acquisitions of Datalytics and Blink UX. Can you tell me a little bit more about those acquisitions and how, on your side of things, they've enabled you to strengthen your capabilities, expand services to customers, and ultimately accelerate growth? That's got to be the plan, right?
Sure, Neil. I want to step back a little bit. About 5 years ago, when we redesigned our go-to-market strategy, or how we wanted to take value to the marketplace, we pivoted on two major themes. The first one being front-to-back transformation. You've probably heard about it. The second was service transformation. And in that whole front-to-back transformation was shrinking the core. How do you really reduce the dependence on this whole legacy? And as you looked at shrinking the core, the intelligence layer became very important. And then the front-end layer, which is from an experience standpoint, became very important. What we were seeing was there were back-end systems, and then there were front-end, web front-ends. And in between was this whole massive spaghetti ball. These systems were not built for personalization. So we started to embark on a strategy of how do we bring in very specific set of capabilities. So the Blink acquisition was in the area of experience and design, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. The Datalytics acquisition was specifically in the area of data. So it kind of focused on the middle, which was the intelligence layer, and Blink focused more on the front-end side of it, which was how do we take customer journeys and then marry them with our software development lifecycle.
And last week, I was in Las Vegas for a tech conference, and the big theme there was around data analytics. And the main theme was data is everywhere. And the message that was hammered home was those that leverage their data and remove silos, bring all their company data together, they're going to be the companies that win. So from your side of things, can you explain what the power of data means for you and indeed your customers, and why it is indeed a critical enabler of business growth during this period of uncertainty?
Yeah, data has always been there. In fact, there is more of data now than there was ever, and it's just expanding. I think what was not happening was actionable insights with data. What do you do? How do you essentially become a data-driven decision organization? Or how do you drive your decisions with data and insights? And it's that gap that we wanted to address. Ref data programs have been there for many, many years. We're focused on data from 2 or 3 different vantage points. One is growth-centric. How can data help you drive deeper penetration into the markets and so on? Second is performance-centric, service level experience. When you do hyper-personalization, you realize that every customer is unique in a set of needs, etc. And the third is cost-centric, which is, are you performing at a level of efficiency which is industry-leading or industry-bleeding? So to me, data is and obviously the statement has been used many times, data is the new oil. And how we harness that data into actionable insights is where our focus is from a growth, experience, cost-centric mindset.
And another big trend that we've seen exacerbated over the last few years is the tech skills shortage. And from your side of things, what specific skills and expertise are you looking for at Mphasis, and especially in new hires? And how do you plan to attract top talent to a company during this skill shortage?
Yeah, so I think question, Neil. Today we have in the IT workforce, maybe from the late baby boomers to, I would say, the Gen Zs, right? So you're kind of working across a very wide spectrum of people and technologies which have been sitting for 25, 30 plus years to the newest technology, and specifically what you're hearing about in AI and data and so on. I think it all stems from purpose. What is our purpose as an organization? We want to be the driver in the driverless car. And how do you drive that purpose through your value proposition? That is, for us, it's high tech, high touch, and high trust. Now, when you bring purpose of deep engineering, that is what we want to be to our clients. And when you marry that up with our value proposition of continuously being an engineering mindset, being a high touch, which is we work with a few, but we go deep and wide, so there's meaningful work that we get to do. And then finally, high trust, which is delivering on our commitments. That needs to flow into the entire 37,000 people and to the marketplace where we're looking to attract talent from. I think career pathing is an important aspect of that. So as long as we keep things simple based on purpose and value props, I think we're able to align our people in that general direction.
And if we put technology to one side for a moment, I think collaboration and partnerships are actually becoming increasingly important in driving things like innovation in the tech industry. So what partnerships have Mphasis established here in Europe, and what kind of benefits have these brought to your company and again to your customers?
It's all about collaboration today. There is so much innovation happening across the world that you can't do that standalone. We look at partnerships across four broad categories, so to say. You have the hyperscalers and the global firms like AWS, Amazon, GCP, Azure, and where Snowflake, SAP, S/4HANA. So these are our global partners. They're hyperscalers. They're journey to the cloud. Then we look at partnerships across core systems. These are core banking systems, core insurance systems, whether it's policy admin, whether it's claims, the likes of Guidewire, Salesforce when it comes to CRM, etc. The third is the enabling systems. These are your BPM tools like Camunda, Evolute IQ, that essentially allow the transactions to move and for your back offices to work with your middle and your front office. And then finally, which is the most important, are the innovation systems. This is all the new age development that's happening in, whether it's in robotics, whether it is in AI, whether it's in data, systems like Uncore, Be-Informed, Sauce Labs from a QA perspective. So we need to continuously look at how we will use our Lego block approach to building these partnerships that are relevant to our clients, and then take these optionalities out, because you land up at any of your clients and you'll find that there are 100 different software applications in use. So we continuously look across these four layers and co-innovate and co-develop to take valuable solutions that are enterprise strength to our clients.
And I think every business leader in every industry is facing a series of challenges at the moment. Nobody gets out of this one. So I'm curious, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced as a leader in the tech industry, and how have you overcome them? Because I think hearing your experience could help a lot of leaders listening to this podcast.
I think the biggest challenge is the shift in technology and the expanded landscape of technology. For us, not only we need to, obviously most of the work is in Gen 1, but you got to take Horizon 3 into mind as well. So Horizon 2, Horizon 3 hype cycles. I think to us, that's one of the most important ones. We reorganized ourselves roughly about 3 years ago into a tribe and squad model. That's typically what Spotify did. And we came up with 8 broad set of capabilities that we needed as an organization to be able to service the needs of a client, from modernization to IT value stream acceleration to data to next stops and so on, and then underpinning everything with cloud. What that allowed us to do was to really bring a modularized approach to our clients. So if you had to deliver, let's say, platformization, then the power of data, the power of modern engineering practices in building next-gen platforms comes together along with cloud, because anything that you're doing is cloud native and so on. So I think the reorganization really helped us in looking at capabilities that we wanted to develop across these 8 tribes and working those tribes along with what I would call key deal archetypes, or how clients typically buy these solutions in a combination to meet their business priorities, is the way that we're looking to these challenges. The second aspect of that is to really keep a very close pulse on the innovation that's taking place in the marketplace. How much of that innovation is mainstream and is going to get applied today? How much of that is really proof of concept testing? And how much of that is truly going to bring value from investment to the returns on investments that our clients are looking to make?
And I think there are a lot of interesting parallels at the minute. Yes, there's a lot of uncertainty in every industry. Budgets are shrinking. But at the same time, society is embracing things like generative AI and other emerging technologies. And their expectations are continuously on the rise. And there's an old saying that your last best experience becomes your next expectation for every experience. So how has Mphasis responded to these evolving needs and expectations of its customers? And what steps are you taking to ensure that the company remains relevant and competitive in the years ahead? Because it's such a fine balance, isn't it, right now?
No, it is. And as I said, Neil, earlier, keeping a tab on Horizon 1, Horizon 2, Horizon 3 technology. Yeah. They're really, amongst the many different strategies, kind of comes down to 2 approaches. One is everything that's happening externally, the voice of the customer, the analysts and the advisory community, the IT consumption patterns and how they're changing. So I think you bring the external aspect in, and then you organize, respond to these trends, which is where innovation with an emphasis is happening across 3 broad spectrums. We have our next labs, and these are labs where we're doing testing of Horizon 2 and Horizon 3 technologies and bringing use cases to life that are useful to our clients. Number 2 is the Sparkle Innovation System, which is really a various innovation hub, whether it's the UK FinTech, whether it's Oxford Innovation, and mostly talking about the ones which are relevant here in the UK. So through the last, I would say 3.5 years, we've tested out, or we've actually seen over 1,000 startups and partnered with over 100 of those across various categories and so on. So that's the second one that really, keeps you relevant and competitive. And the third is really, it's all about people. So the talent transformation. You would see over the last 3 or 4 years, the pace of change in technology, or maybe over the last 5 years, the pace of change and being able to stay relevant, the whole equation between learning and delivering has really changed. The number of learning hours that typically our people go through are now in the 20% on an annual basis. Certifications, new tech, etc., so on. So just to summarize again, external trends and voice of the customer, the analyst community, the internal innovation that we do, whether it's quantum computing, whether it's AI, whether it's related to data, the Sparkle Innovation System, which is bringing the startup ecosystem that is relevant, and then finally the talent transformation initiatives within the organization.
And just to bring to life everything that we're talking about today, you don't have to mention any names here, but can you share an example of a successful service transformation initiative that you've done at Mphasis, and also maybe share how it's helped improve outcomes for the company and its customers and showcase that ROI?
Sure. Now, amongst many, I think the one that I want to pick on is this is for our global insurance broker that plays in the benefit admin and the voluntary benefit space. These systems have grown over 25 years, legacy oriented. I think the biggest pain point was to onboard a new customer or personalization to the end customer who was applying for these various benefits. Typical time to onboard a new customer was about 3 to 4 months. Anytime you would ask for personalization, the IT department would say, get in the back of the queue, we'll do the release in the next 6 months, and hopefully you'll have that in that release and so on. Our solution was one, we took over the run of the clunking system as we looked to automate some of the development aspect and the support aspect of that clunky system. We had to free up some cash. The second thing we did was we brought in one of our internal next-gen systems. We have Windshore. It's in the area of, it was a good match with what the client was looking for, cloud-based, modularized. And we rolled out phase one using the same approach, what I said about zero-cost transformation, quick sprints, so on. Now the client's able to onboard a new customer, an enterprise customer, in less than 3 weeks, personalization to every individual. And we brought Blink in to do the experience design of what the end members should be seeing that's relevant to them on their page, as opposed to a standard screen that you had to scroll through. So cost reductions of roughly to the tune of about 30%, a new age system that got rolled out within 6 months, leading to, and I'm hoping that's going to lead to new customer acquisitions for them. But one of the most important ROI was product density went up. Now clients were, the end members were essentially picking up more of these voluntary benefits because the ease of use and the feature functionality just made it so much easier for them to pick those various options that were available. So product density went up from, if I were to use on a scale of 1 to 10, if it was 2.5 earlier, it's about 5.5 now. So it's probably doubled with the existing client base. So it focused on growth. It focused on acceleration. It focused on hyper-personalization. And then finally, it focused on delivering cost value at the same time. Obviously, these are longer-term programs. The first 2 years are very much about design and build and operationalize and transfer. And the next few years are all about optimization and continuously delivering value over a 5-year term.
Towards the beginning of our conversation, we did touch upon the tech skills shortage. And yes, there are challenges around that, but equally, there are a lot of opportunities out there, especially for young people. So finally, what advice would you give to a young person listening to this podcast who might be interested in pursuing a career in the tech industry? And what are the biggest qualities that you think are essential to begin to be a success in this field?
Neil, the field of tech is so expansive today. Yeah, I always remember a statement that every business is a technology business. Some just don't know it as yet. Most of the financial institutions and and insurers have gone and then made that on record that we are a technology company in the business of payments or in the business of something else. Given that the technology services companies, one of my recommendations is start with a technology services company. They offer a breadth of opportunities across the board, which is from an industry standpoint, from various technologies at play, various use cases amongst those industries, et cetera, so on. They provide for investment in learning and development that I spoke about earlier, and which allows for maturity in skills and getting the right depth, et cetera. Find an industry segment. We've always said that while technology is on horizontal, you need to contextualize technology to the industry or the industry segment. So find the inverted T as you look to build your technology breadth of capabilities, because that is what the marketplace is looking for. Collaborate, which essentially means show up in the office. Work from anywhere, but collaborate in office. I think there is no second to that. So that's an important one. Be outcome focused. And what I really mean by that is speak up, bring your ideas to the forefront, and then finally be geeky. If that's who you want to be, then we with an emphasis have what we call, what is your geek quotient? How geeky are you? And then take that up the maturity curve. So I think those are the 3 or 4 things. Technology services company is a great place. I pivoted from being in the software business to technology services a little over 20 years ago. Best decision ever, because of just the expansive nature of who all you get to work with and the technologies you get to see and so on. Find the inverted T. Find the industry you're passionate about and then build your technology expertise there. Find an area between front-end technologies and technologies of intelligence or the intelligence layer, or even across risk and resilience and cybersecurity. They're all growing areas. And then finally, be geeky.
Absolutely love that. Great advice. I can't thank you enough for coming on here and sharing your insights with everyone. And before I let you go, I'm going to ask you to share one other thing with everyone listening. And I always like to end the podcast on a light-hearted note. And that is, can you name a song that means something to you, is important to you, maybe just gets your head in the zone? It can be anything at all. All I'm going to ask is, what song would you like to add to our Spotify playlist for everyone and why?
All right, I hope it's not on the Spotify playlist already. It's a French singer, Edith Piaf.
Yes.
And the song is Non je ne regrette rien. I have no regrets. And I think it's just such a booster every time when I listen to that song. So I hope it's going to make the top of the charts on the Spotify playlist.
Yes, it's a great song. Oh, it's playing on my head as you said it there. So I'll get that added straight away. And for anyone listening, just want to explore more about what you're doing at Mphasis, maybe even contact your team. What's the best starting point for everything?
I think the best starting point is our website has many ways for our people to connect with us. You could come through the whole HR side, and you could actually, I'm there on the website, so am I there on the LinkedIn. So I think there are very many avenues to contact us, and just feel free, even if you want to just come and collaborate and talk to us about any right ideas. We're always very open. As in the war for talent, we're always looking for good people.
Fantastic. We covered so much in a short amount of time today, from zero cost transformation, the importance of collaboration, the acquisitions you've made, partnerships, and how to attract top talent to a company. So many big talking points. We could talk about this for hours, but more than anything, just a big thank you, Anurag, for sharing your insights on everything that you're seeing in the industry today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Neil, and thank you for having me. Have a good one.
So as we wrap up the conversation with Anurag from the Mphasis Corporation today, let's reflect on a few key takeaways from the episode. And for me, embracing a customer-centric approach and leveraging innovative strategies like zero-cost transformation or self-funded projects. This is the secret to helping businesses drive tech transformation journeys, even during these economic slowdowns, which we're seeing all around the world at the moment. And also, I think strategic acquisitions are notably strengthening a company's capabilities. And I think Mphasis' acquisition of BlinkUX and Datalytics serve as prime examples of that. But again, put the tech to one side. Partnerships, collaboration, these are things that play a critical role in driving innovation in the tech industry, and in fact, any business. Because every company needs to be agile. They need to be adaptive to keep up with evolving technologies. And for anyone listening in, and for anyone interested in pursuing a career in technology, I think the big message was it's essential to continuously learn, develop skills like adaptability and problem solving, as well as embracing collaboration and focus on delivering greater outcomes and being geeky. Don't be afraid of that. So a big thank you to Anuraag for joining me on Tech Talks Daily, sharing his valuable insights. I think it's been an engaging and thought-provoking discussion, and I hope you've been able to gain some valuable knowledge that you can apply on your own journey in your business. But as always, any questions or you want to connect with me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram @NeilC.Hughes. But just a big thank you for tuning in to Tech Talks Daily. I look forward to bringing you more conversations like this with industry leaders every day, week, month, and years ahead. So stay curious, keep exploring the exciting world of technology. And until next time, don't be a stranger.